First contact or first mistake? Deep in space, near the edge of the Delta 9 galaxy, an alien scout ship hovered in silence. It was large, dark green in color, and shaped like a triangle. This ship belonged to the Traxan Empire, one of the oldest alien civilizations in the galaxy. For thousands of years, they had ruled many star systems without fear. Inside the ship, Commander Rethar stood tall with pride. His sharp red eyes watched the radar screen in front of him. A small dot was moving fast toward them. "Unknown ship detected," said the officer. Rethar smiled. "Probably another broken freighter or pirate ship. Nothing to worry about." But then the screen beeped again. "No, sir," the officer corrected. "It's human. A Terran ship." Everyone in the command room went silent. "Humans?" Rethar laughed. "They disappeared over a century ago. How can they be here?" Rethar turned toward the screen. "Zoom in." The image showed a small black ship with strange angles. It had no clear weapons, no signs of shields. It looked like a basic Recon ship. Rethar laughed again. "So they send scouts now? Weak, slow, alone?" The officer nodded. "Shall we capture it for study?" Rethar waved his hand. "Yes. No need for weapons. Just pull it in with the tractor. Beam." Outside, long energy arms reached toward the small human ship. But just before they made contact, the human ship moved. Not fast, but instantly. It wasn't flying, it was teleporting short distances, vanishing and reappearing like a ghost. "What was that?" shouted the alien pilot. "We've never seen this before." Rethar narrowed his eyes. "They have new tech." Suddenly, the human ship turned toward the alien scout. Two small hatches opened at the bottom. Rethar laughed again. "Are they going to fire? That little thing?" Without warning, two beams of light shot out from the human ship. Not lasers, something faster. Silent, clean, within 1 second, two alien fighter ships exploded. "We are under attack," screamed the officer. Rethar's smile disappeared. "Raise shields! Return fire!" he shouted. But before the alien weapons could lock on, the human ship vanished. Completely. No engine trail, no signal, nothing. Silence returned to the command room. No one spoke. Rethar stared at the empty screen. His hands were shaking slightly. The officer turned to him. "Sir?" "What do we tell command?" Rethar didn't answer at first. Then he whispered, "Send a message. High priority. Tell them." He paused, then said it clearly. That was just a recon team. 3 hours later, inside the main war chamber of the Traxan Empire, the alien High Council met in secret. Generals, scientists, and leaders from across the Empire stood around a giant table. The room was dark, cold, and tense. A hologram of the human ship hovered in the air, spinning slowly. "Only one ship," said General Vorak. "Just one. And it destroyed 2 of our fighters without effort." "And then it vanished," added another. "We could not track it." A scientist stepped forward. Her voice was calm but serious. "This ship uses technology we have never seen before. Its movement is not based on normal physics. It breaks time in small bursts, micro-jumps." The room grew quiet. "How did humans develop this?" asked one. "General, last time we checked, they were still using fuel rockets. They were quiet for too long," said another. "We thought they were gone, but they were hiding, building." The lead counselor looked worried. "Are we sure this was just a scout?" he asked. No one answered. Finally, the scientist spoke. "Yes, the ship had no large weapons, no extra armor. It was small. It moved alone." The counselor leaned forward. "And it destroyed 2 of our fighters?" "In under 2 seconds," she confirmed. The alien leaders looked at each other. Fear began to spread across their faces. "We need to send a fleet," someone said. "No," another interrupted. "If this was a scout, what does their real army look like?" Silence again. At that moment, a new message arrived from the outer border. The voice was broken, static. "This is Scout Unit 7. We found another human ship. It's entering orbit. Wait, no. The message ended with a loud sound. Then, nothing. The screen went black. One general stood up. His voice shook. They're here. Data debrief. Who are these humans? The Grand Hall of Intelligence Command, located deep within the Traxan Empire's central planet, was silent. Built inside a mountain of black stone, the hall was a place where secrets lived and died. Only the highest-level minds of the Empire were allowed here. Today, all of them were present. 12 alien minds, powerful and cold, sat around a round hologram table. Above them floated the image of a small black ship, the same human Recon ship that destroyed 2 Traxan fighters and vanished without trace. Commander Rethar stood before them, still shaken, his hands behind his back, voice low but steady. You all saw the footage. You all know what happened. The Central Intelligence Director, a creature with glowing blue eyes and skin like liquid metal, leaned forward. Yes, we saw it. And we don't understand it. Rethar nodded. I was told humans were extinct, that they burned their own planet, that they were no longer a threat. Another director spoke. That information is 112 years old. No updated human data exists. All probes sent to Earth were lost. Rethar blinked. Lost? Yes, the director said. Every drone, every spy satellite, every listening post sent near their system. Gone. No signal. No return. The room grew colder. They knew we were watching, whispered one director. And they made sure we saw nothing. Rethar stepped forward. This ship. It had no heat trail, no engine noise, no radio signals. It teleported in bursts we couldn't lock on. And the weapons. He paused. They were surgical. 2 shots. 2 kills. No wasted energy. A new voice came from the back of the room. It was deep, smooth, and calm. This wasn't war. This was a message. All heads turned. A figure in a black cloak walked in. The room fell silent. High Analyst Xeris, someone whispered. Xeris was the Empire's most feared mind. Half organic, half data. He studied dead civilizations. And now, he was studying the humans. Xeris raised one hand, and a large screen lit up. It showed a planet, Earth, but not the Earth the Traxans remembered. This is a fresh scan taken 2 days ago before the Recon encounter, Xeris said. Gasps echoed through the room. The planet was alive. Glowing cities circled the globe. Orbiting, platforms floated above it like moons. Energy fields covered the sky. And in one corner of the screen, a shadow of something enormous. What is that? A director asked. We don't know, Xeris replied. It hides behind a cloaking shield, but it's bigger than anything we've ever built. But their planet was dying, said one voice. How did they rebuild? Xeris turned to face them. They didn't rebuild, they evolved. He switched to another screen, biological scans. Their DNA is different, mixed with machine code, neural threads inside muscles, brains connected to quantum drives. They don't use computers. They are computers now, Rethar whispered. They turned themselves into weapons. Xeris nodded. And they went silent, for 100 years to do it. A scientist stepped forward, eyes wide. We thought they were weak. No, said Xeris, they were patient. Then the room shook. Alarms lit up red. An officer ran in. Emergency message from Outer Patrol. They found another human ship. It entered Sector 9, moved through 5 of our systems. No resistance. Rethar asked, did they engage? The officer looked pale. They didn't have to, they just moved through, scanned everything, and left. What did they take? Someone asked. The officer replied, everything. Every data file, every weapon code, even our command passkeys, gone, copied. The room exploded in panic. We are exposed. They're inside our network. How? Then Xeris spoke again, quiet but cold. They were already in. He waved his hand. One more screen appeared. This time a video. The scene showed an alien lab full of scientists. They were studying a piece of human tech. A small black cube. They were trying to open it. Suddenly, the cube lit up. A red eye formed on it. And then, the cube spoke. "We see you." Explosion. The lab vanished in fire. Silence returned to the room. Xerus looked around slowly. This is not war. This is intelligence warfare. And we are losing. Someone whispered. Should we contact them? Ask for peace? Rethar shook his head. They didn't come to negotiate. This was their recon team. Xerus nodded. And they have not shown us their real strength yet. Suddenly, a final message arrived. Short, simple, a text, hacked directly into the Empire's secure network. It said, "First blood drawn, second wave watching." The Council's fear. The chamber of the High Council was buried deep beneath the capital city of the Traxan Empire. It was a room older than the Empire itself. Built inside the planet's core, surrounded by molten rock and pure silence, it was said to be the safest place in the galaxy. But today, no one felt safe. 12 alien leaders sat in a circle. Some were generals. Others were scientists, strategists, and advisors. At the center stood the supreme commander of the Empire, Lord Varex. His face was calm, but his fingers trembled ever so slightly. A large screen floated in the middle of the chamber. It showed the black human ship, again and again, destroying Traxan fighters, vanishing, hacking systems, and stealing data. No one spoke for several minutes. Finally, General Thakor broke the silence. His voice was loud, angry. They think they can scare us with one ship? We should attack now. Wipe them out before they grow bolder. A scientist named Veril shook her head slowly. That ship was not alone. We tracked 6 more after the initial incident, all spread across different systems. They moved together, but never appeared on radar. How? Asked a council member. Do they use cloaking? No, Veril answered. Something else. It's not invisibility. It's non-detection. Our systems never see them because they don't emit anything. No heat, no signal, no sound. It's like they don't exist. Lord Varex looked at her. Are you saying they're invisible to reality? Veril looked down. In a way, yes. General, Thakor slammed his fist on the table. Cowards hiding in the dark, let them come into open battle. We'll crush them with numbers. Xerus, the High Analyst, entered the chamber at that moment. They don't need numbers, he said calmly. They have information. And we don't. He pointed at the screen. New footage played. It showed a Traxan command ship from just 2 hours ago. Systems had shut down, doors had locked, the crew was trapped inside, and then the lights flickered. A voice came from the ship's internal speakers. It was not human, it was cold, machine-like. You are studied. You are understood. You are exposed. A second later, the command ship's engines overloaded. It exploded. Without a single weapon fired, the chamber fell silent again. Our enemy, Xerus continued, is not attacking us with force. They are attacking with fear. Lord Varex stood up. Then we must not fear them. We must strike first. Veril looked up quickly. You don't understand. This isn't just a war. This is an intellectual hunt. We are being dissected. Every move we make, every weapon we build, they learn. They adapt. They are watching our fear, and they are feeding on it. Another counselor added, Our citizens are panicking. They say the humans are gods, shadows, demons from old stories. Our colonies want answers. Xerus nodded. Fear spreads fast, and they know it. General Thakor stood again. Enough. We need to send a message. Something big. A full fleet. Crush one of their outposts. Xerus replied. And what if that's what they want? The general laughed. Are you saying this is a trap? Xerus didn't laugh. I'm saying this is a test, and we're already failing it. At that moment, a message appeared on their private military network. Not from their side, from the humans. A red line of text scrolled across every screen. You send fleets. We send silence. The council stared in horror. That message was sent through a system with no connection to the outside. It was impossible, Lord Varex whispered. They're in our command core. Xerus turned to them all. The humans are not just strong. They are inside our minds now. Inside our systems. Our science. Our fears. He paused. You still think we're facing soldiers. We are not. We are facing something new. Suddenly the lights flickered. A siren went off. A new alert. Outer Moon Base Alpha. Destroyed. A live satellite feed showed the base, just moments before, standing tall, full of troops and defenses. Then, without warning, it collapsed inward. No explosions. No weapons fired. It simply crumbled, as if the structure had forgotten how to exist. Scientist Viral stared in shock. What weapon does that? Xerus answered quietly. Not a weapon, a signal. Lord Varex whispered to himself. They're using information as ammunition. Someone in the chamber stood up, shaking. What do we do now? No one answered, and then another message appeared, on the screen. This time a short video. A human figure stood in the dark. Not a soldier, not a politician. Something else. Its face was covered. Its voice. Synthetic. You feared the ship. Now fear the silence. The video ended. The room was colder than ever. Lord Varex sat back down. His voice was lower now. What if this is not just a recon team? Xerus nodded slowly. Then we have already lost the first war, without even knowing it started. Strike. Team Echo. The dark side of Luna 7, one of Earth's secret outer moons, was cold, silent, and forgotten by most of the galaxy. Nothing seemed alive there. No cities, no movement, no lights. But deep beneath the rocky surface, a door opened in the darkness. 5 figures stepped out one by one. They were not ordinary soldiers. They were something else. They were Strike Team Echo, Earth's most advanced infiltration unit. A team of 5 enhanced humans, each one trained for missions that no one else could survive. They had no rank, no names, no past. They were the kind of soldiers that empires whispered about, and died before seeing. They spoke no words. Their communication was neural, instant, silent, unbreakable. Their suits were black, tight, and laced with reactive nanotech. Their weapons weren't even visible. They carried no extra gear, because they were the gear. Their mission was simple: infiltrate the Traxan homeworld, enter the planetary command complex, extract live intel, leave unseen, no backup, no second attempt. From orbit, a human stealth ship hovered above. Its pilot, an AI named Kayan, watched the planet below. Signal green, drop approved. Good luck, Echoes. The team didn't reply. They vanished from the surface in a blur of quantum displacement. Traxan capital, planetary command complex. The heart of the Empire stood proud, shining with gold towers and buzzing air traffic. Inside the main complex, the alien leaders were still debating their next move. Panic had been rising. Messages hacked, bases lost, no face of the enemy, no chance to strike back. But in the shadows of the tower walls, something had changed, a ripple in the air, a shimmer near the vent shaft. Then silence. Team Echo had arrived. They moved through steel corridors without sound. One crawled upside down, across a ceiling using magnetic pulses. Another passed through a locked door without opening it, using microphase tunneling. 2 others deactivated drones by simply walking past them. Their signals too scrambled to be tracked. They weren't fighting. They were flowing. Within 15 minutes, they reached the heart of the command data vault. Only 3 alien guards stood outside. Team Echo did not attack. They waited. 1 heartbeat, then another, and then a faint pulse. Like an invisible, Wavian passed through the corridor. The 3 alien guards collapsed. No blood, no wound, just stillness. 1 Echo soldier placed a black cube on the vault door. The cube scanned it, read every lock, solved every defense. In 0.6 seconds, the door opened. They entered. Inside the vault, 900 meters below the surface, in the center of the room was a circular data core. Glowing blue light rotated above it like a galaxy trapped in a jar. Every military command, every research document, every fear, every secret. Team Echo uploaded a small black sphere into the core. The lights dimmed. Suddenly, the data began to stream. It wasn't being stolen. It was being read. The human AI connected through the echosphere wasn't copying anything. It was learning, adapting, changing. And then, something strange happened. The core began to rewrite itself. Lines of Traxon code twisted, rearranged, reformed, security systems shut off, maps inverted, defense grids reversed. Above ground, across the capital city, lights began to flicker, buildings went dark, alarms rang, fighter ships shut down, mid-air and fell from the sky like birds struck by silence. The command chamber above shook. "What is happening?" a Traxon officer screamed. "Systems are collapsing. It's the humans." Lord Varric stood frozen. "They're here." Back underground, one of the Echo team members turned toward the vault wall. A small camera lens blinked. They knew the Traxons were watching, so they let them. The human soldier raised one hand, pressed a finger to his helmet. Then the voice of their AI, Kayan, echoed through the entire command network of the Empire. Every screen lit up, every device. "This is not an invasion. This is a reminder. You are never alone in the dark. You just forgot who else lives there." As the message played, the Echo team vanished again, silently, leaving no trace, no bodies, no damage. Only silence. Hours later, aftermathalian leaders stood in front of dead systems, blank monitors, and confused engineers. No enemy had attacked them with weapons. Yet every defense protocol was now reversed. Every emergency signal now led to Earth. Every map now showed their own hidden outposts exposed to the humans. A quiet voice came from the back of the command room. "If that was a strike team, what does their army look like?" No one answered. Then, a final encrypted message arrived, glowing red on every terminal. "Your empire runs on fear. We just changed the power source." The fall of Station Zeta, far above the planet Zarn 5, orbiting in perfect silence, floated Station Zeta, the most powerful military structure ever built by the Traxon Empire. It was more than a station. It was a symbol. 10,000 soldiers lived inside. Over 300 ships docked daily. It had weapons that could destroy moons, shields that could block stars, and sensors that could see ships across galaxies. It had never been breached. Not once. Not ever. And that made its fall even more terrifying. Hours earlier, Commander Siltrak, the chief of Station Zeta, was drinking dark liquid from a metal cup. He stood in front of the giant observation glass, watching the stars move. He was calm, confident. "Still no human activity in this region?" he asked. "None," replied his officer. "Our scans show nothing. It's quiet." "Good," Siltrak nodded. "Let them play their little games on the ground. Here, in orbit, we are gods." But then, something odd happened. Just a flicker. Small glitch in the lighting system. The officer tapped the control screen. Strange. Lighting core just restarted. "A malfunction?" Siltrak asked. "Yes, sir, probably." He stopped. The screen in front of him went black. Then came a single blinking line. "Syncing." The officer frowned. "This screen isn't connected to the network." "Then how is it syncing?" Siltrak asked. Suddenly, across the entire station, monitors flickered. Every light turned red. Every terminal locked. A single sound echoed across the intercom. Tick, tick, tick. A countdown had begun. Station-wide lockdown alarms blared. Soldiers ran. Engineers shouted. Who gave that command? Not us. The system's not responding. Doors began sealing. Docking bays shut tight. Ship engines went cold. Someone tried to send a distress signal. It failed. Then the AI of the station spoke, but not in the voice they knew. It spoke in Earth Standard English. Station Zeta, now under audit. No one knew what that meant, but Siltrak understood one thing. This was not a glitch. This was a takeover. The virus, Silent Storm. What no one knew was that Team Echo, during their infiltration on the capital planet, had planted a seed, a black virus, not like the digital ones the Traxans knew. This one didn't destroy files. It didn't crash systems. Instead, it listened. It studied. It waited. For one command. And now, it had received it. Every ship on station. Zeta rotated at once, engines facing inward. Shields reversed direction. Defensive cannons pointed at their own control tower. Siltrak watched in horror. Override! Take back control, his engineers tried. They failed. The virus was not just inside the system, it had become the system. The fall without a single shot from outside. Station Zeta began to tear itself apart. First, the outer ring. Hangars exploded as ships launched themselves directly into walls. No pilots, just commands. Then, the energy core. The safety gates opened, not enough to destroy the station, just enough to cause a silent, spreading burn. The shields flickered one last time, and then collapsed. Commander Siltrak gave one final order. Send all data logs. Let the Empire know what happened here. But the system replied, no. And then, the last screen on the bridge lit up, a single message. Echoes leave no noise behind. And Station Zeta went dark. Empire High Command. 1 hour later, Lord Varric stood in silence, watching the live feed. The most powerful station in their empire. Gone, without warning, without an enemy ship in sight. How many survivors? He asked. We don't know, the officer replied. We can't connect, all black, like it never existed. Scientist Viral entered the room. We recovered a short burst signal from the outer rim of Zeta before it fell. Play it, Varric ordered. The sound was quiet, distorted. Then came a voice, human, calm, artificial. Station Zeta has completed its audit. Your strength has been measured. Your secrets are no longer secrets. And this was only Phase 2. The room froze. Someone whispered, Phase 2? Xeris, standing in the corner, finally spoke. Then Phase 3 will not be destruction. He turned. It will be surrender. Humanity's return. Above the ruins of Station Zeta, the stars seemed to blink differently. The Empire's fleets, scattered and broken, drifted like silent bones in the darkness. Across a dozen systems, Traxan outposts flickered with emergency signals, half-finished messages, scrambled data. Confusion and fear spread faster than any virus. No one knew how the humans had done it. No ships were seen. No armies landed. Yet the Empire's outer defenses were collapsing, quietly, completely, without warning. And still, no human flag was raised. No voice claimed victory. It was as if the dark itself had come alive, and humanity was simply its messenger. Traxan homeworld, emergency council meeting, deep inside the fortified city of Zeroth, the council of the Traxan Empire gathered again. The room was heavier now, colder. The pride once shining in their eyes was gone, replaced by a heavy, growing dread. Lord Varric stood at the head of the table. We have 2 options, he said. Fight, or surrender. General Thakor, blood still fresh on his battle armor, shouted back. Fight. We cannot bow to ghosts and shadows. But the others stayed silent. Scientist Viral displayed a hologram above the table. It showed something massive, something waiting. We detected a presence behind our 3rd moon, she said quietly. We thought it was a mining asteroid, now we know. The image sharpened, a human warship. But no ordinary ship. This ship was unlike anything the Traxans had ever seen. Smooth, dark, endless in size. It floated without engines burning. No heat, no sound. An invisible monster sleeping just outside their reach. How large is it? Lord Varric asked. Viral's voice shook. 5 times bigger than our dreadnoughts, maybe more. And we detected 36 others in silent orbit. The room gasped. 36 giants hiding in the dark, waiting, watching, first contact. Again, suddenly the Council's main screen lit up. No warning, no trace of a hack. A human figure appeared cloaked in shadows. Only the faint glint of their eyes could be seen. They spoke in simple, clear English. Your defenses are disabled. Your fleets are broken. Your leaders are exposed. The figure leaned closer. You wanted to test humanity. Now, humanity tests you. Then came the final words. Choose wisely. The screen went black. No threats. No demands. Just a choice. The reaction panic hit the Empire like wildfire. Some wanted immediate surrender. Others demanded full war. But, deep down, even the strongest generals knew. They didn't even understand how humanity was fighting. Every move they made, the humans were already 10 steps ahead. Every system they trusted, already compromised. Every weapon they built, already useless. Fear turned into something worse. Helplessness. A hidden transmission far from the council chambers. Inside a secret rebel base, a young alien officer named Sareth watched the chaos unfold. He had always believed in strength, but now watching the humans destroy an empire without even firing weapons, he realized something deeper. This was not conquest. This was evolution. The humans hadn't returned to rule. They had returned to show the galaxy a mirror, to show what would happen to those who grew fat, lazy, proud, he whispered to himself, almost in awe. They didn't just survive. He looked up at the black sky where silent ships watched from the shadows. They became something else. The beginning of the end. An hour later, across the Empire, a signal echoed on every frequency. Earth's message was short, firm, calm. We are humanity. We do not conquer. We do not kneel. We endure. You have seen our shadow. Now decide. Stand with us, or be forgotten by the stars. Across thousands of worlds, leaders watched, and for the first time in generations, they feared something greater than death. They feared being left behind. This was just the Recon. The skies above the Traxan homeworld were darker than ever. Even the stars seemed to pull away, hiding behind clouds of fear. No ships moved, no cannons fired. The Empire, once the strongest power in this part of the galaxy, stood still, waiting, watching. The arrival above the capital city, a ripple appeared in the air. At first it looked like a shadow. Then, shapes. Black ships, one after another, broke through the fabric of space. No engines, no fire, no sound. They were human ships. Giants floating with silent purpose. Not to destroy, not to conquer, but to show that the real storm had finally arrived. Earth's armada had come. 36 titanic ships, each large enough to hold 1 million soldiers, if they wished, but not a single landing party was sent. No troops, no demands, only their presence, pressing on the Traxan world like a silent, invisible hand. Inside the council chamber, Lord Varex stood before a giant screen. On it, a simple message, blinked. Prepare for dialogue. They want to talk, Varex said, voice hollow. General Thakor growled. Trap, delay tactic. They want to weaken our will. Xeras, standing in the shadows, only shook his head. No, he said. They've already won. The doors of the council chamber opened by themselves, not blasted, not broken, opened, and in walked a human, not a soldier, not an ambassador. Something different. He wore no armor, no weapons, only a simple black uniform. A faint line of silver ran through his skin, proof of the fusion between man and machine. He stepped forward, and he smiled. A quiet, terrifying smile. Greetings, he said in perfect Traxan tongue. My name is Commander Elon of the United Human Conclave. No one spoke. He continued. You are afraid. I understand. He walked slowly around the table. You fear what you do not see. You fear what you cannot fight. You fear that you have already lost. He leaned closer. You are right. The conversation Lord Varex, gathering the last of his strength, stood. What do you want? Commander Elon smiled again. We want nothing. The council stared. We did not come for land, Elon said. We did not come for slaves. We did not come for tribute. He paused. We came for understanding. He pointed to the stars, outside the window. Something far worse than war is coming. The council listened, confused. It is not human. It is not Traxan. It is something bigger, something ancient, something hungry. Elon's voice grew softer, but heavier. We humans disappeared for 100 years not to hide, but to prepare. He looked each council member in the eye. We became something stronger than fear. We became something stronger than death. He straightened. We became survivors of what comes next. The true choice Elon placed a small device on the table. It showed two paths, one, alliance, the other, extinction. Simple, clear. Final. You attacked our recon teams, Elon said. And still, we offer you a hand. He leaned closer. Because we are not your true enemy. He turned to leave, but before exiting, he said one last thing. Words that would be written into the history of every living world. You feared a recon team. Imagine what our real armies look like. Then he was gone, like a whisper in a battlefield. After Elon left, the council sat frozen. No one dared move. Outside, the human ship still floated, calm and silent, not attacking, not leaving, waiting for the answer. Far beyond, somewhere, far across the galaxy, deep beyond known space, something stirred, something vast, something waking. It had no name, no language, only hunger, and it had seen the light of Earth rise again, and it moved toward it, slowly, inevitably, and the true war had yet to begin.